All right, we'll call this meeting of the Amarillo Local Government Corporation to order here on Wednesday, February 1st, 2012. We do have a quorum of the body present. Ms. Simpson is absent on business today and is unable to be with us. 6 of the 7 of us are here. Special welcome, Paul Sanders, legal counsel. Welcome. Thank you for being here today. Look forward to interacting with you a little bit later on in the agenda. First of all, let me, on behalf of the entire body of Melissa, express our condolences to you, and to Todd, and to Karma on the passing of your mother. So our thoughts and our prayers are with you as you work through those issues. Please know that. Item number 2 on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our previous meeting, January 12, 2012. You were provided electronically those minutes, unless there are additions, corrections, or deletions. I would entertain a motion. So moved by Mr. Sims, seconded by Mr. Boyd, that the minutes stand to be approved as presented. Those in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the minutes are approved. Item number 3, I wish we could get through this entire agenda that quickly. For some reason, things slow down.
We can.
We can? Okay. You're experienced at doing this sort of thing.
Yes, sir.
A lot of years.
You kind of got this cadence going like a priest, I'm noticing.
Yeah.
I
was thinking an option here, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Item number 3 is our kind of a standing agenda item, an update on downtown redevelopment projects, allowing our partners, our staff, the group to come up to speed on the status of things. I just have a couple of things in regard to a discussion under this agenda item, and Jared and Melissa may have others. But first of all, just an update to the board. I did have the opportunity, and appreciated the opportunity last week to make a presentation to the City Commission regarding the work of their local government corporation, which I reminded them, which they created only 10 short months ago. It seems like it was a lot longer ago than that, but only 10 months ago. And if my numbers were correct, I think we've had 17 open public meetings. This will be our 18th since we were created 10 months ago. Talked about the charge to the body, the work that we have done to date, and in particular our focus will be today on the hotel lease and parking garage lease and development agreement. So I think that went well, and we will continue to do that. Good report. We'll continue to regularly update the commission in a formal way in their public meetings as is necessary. Secondly, again, kind of for the public, in terms of where we are working diligently at this stage on the lease and development agreement for the hotel and the parking structure. We will spend some time with our counsel today in executive session in terms of receiving his advice and counsel regarding that document as we continue down that path, leading up ultimately to the document being passed back across the table to the Wallace Bajali development firm, will be the other party to the leasing development agreement. Things we have other agreements, the documents that we need to kind of begin to bring along as a body. Of course, there is the contemplated prime lease agreement that will be between the city and the LGC. That will put the property in our hands so that we can in turn lease it to the developer as the plans call for. So, Jared, do you want anything to speak to in terms of how that might come about, or when that might come about, or your thoughts in terms of the prime lease agreement?
The prime lease will be prepared by Mr. Sanders. Expect him to have that done just as soon as we're able to take the first push off on the hotel lease and development agreement. It's an item that will come to the City Commission, and we bring all real property items to the City Commission. At this point, your prime lease will consist of the property that is the south parking lot of the Golden Center, and then the block that has the old police department and court facility on it. The document puts the LGC as the landlord of that property. That is necessary for this LGC to to execute the lease and development agreement with Wallace Pajali to cause those first two pieces of the project to be constructed. It's a good one. It should be pretty simple. Reminder, those items come to the city commission typically on a consent agenda, are done once and are approved, just as we do with any other property.
And that's, you know, that's one of those items on that decision-making checklist that we put together and adopted several meetings ago and it was presented to the city commission last week. So that's another one of those agreement checks that we need to deal with along the line. Another one of those agreements, or maybe multiple agreements, that's contemplated in the plans is what generically we're calling economic development incentive agreement, or agreements plural. Depending upon how that all falls into place, there may be multiple understandings as to that.
Sure. The economic incentive agreement, we have a draft of that. We've been holding it off from the committee pending legal review and getting the other work moved a little bit forward. What that will consist of are all of the various smaller parts that were identified in the project financing plan that was approved back in August. So that's where you'll be looking at the tiered rebates. So obviously that's an agreement that will go forward through the tiers. There are some sales tax and hotel occupancy tax rebates. Those go through the city commission. And that's how we put all that together, thus providing back to the developer the certainty that they need, that they can implement and follow that financial plan.
Sure. Anything else from your perspective?
No, sir. I think you've done well. My message was just that while we continue to chew through the major work that's before us today, that doesn't end. There's several more coming, and we'll go through.
We're not off the hook.
We're not off the hook.
We're not off.
Committee members are absolutely not allowed to.
So this is a marathon, not this marathon, not a sprint.
Absolutely. We'll do all this.
How come I feel like I've been sprinting?
Can I ask a question about the prime lease?
Yes, sir.
Will the prime lease be just between the city and the LGC, or will it also include ultimately the development?
No, that'll be, it's a two-phase or a two-step process. The prime lease is between the city and the LGC. The LGC as landlord then sets the lease and development agreement into place with the developer, and that's their property. That's
And you're anticipating that the prime lease would be something like a 20 or a 40 with a couple of 20 renewals, just like to kind of parallel the
Yes.
development agreement?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions at this stage? Melissa?
Well, the only thing I would add, I mean, several of you were there, but leadership from the city of Midland came in, and I think we must be doing something right. We're getting the attention of other cities, wanting to come here and get feedback from us on what we're doing downtown and what we're doing right. So, I thought that was really fruitful, and I think they went away with some good information from us.
A couple of their elected assistant city manager, city manager.
Yeah. So, it was a great discussion.
Quite 5 hours with them on that Friday morning. Really interested. They've actually been nibbling at the edges of the process much longer than collectively the community we have. They're at that stage of doing what I know they're doing, the action plan of grabbing it all under one umbrella and starting forward with it. So, it's really interesting to talk to them, actually take some questions. And I think we were able to answer most of them.
So Jared will be sending the city of Midland a consulting bill for our collective.
Absolutely. I'm going to charge triple the going rate for LGC members and see what that gets
I
us.
suspect I know what Courtney would do with that bill when he receives it. Probably not paid.
Probably not fair.
No, we appreciated the opportunity. It was a good exchange, and we'll continue to learn from them, and they'll learn from us, hopefully as we both progress. Anything else from the update category? Okay. We'll move on to item number 4 on the agenda, which is the public comment period, the public comment forum, for an opportunity for the public to speak to us as it relates and pertains to the work of this body? Any comments to be made today from the public? All right. Hearing none, we will move on to item number 5 on our agenda, which is the closed session item. So I will call this